To understand the sheer magnitude of this betrayal, you need to understand my role in the family. My name is Harper. I am 29 years old, and for as long as I can remember, I was the fixer. My sister Chloe is 24, and she is the textbook definition of a golden child. Growing up, my parents poured every ounce of their love, attention, and money into her. She was a cheerleader, a pageant girl, the center of their universe. I was just the quiet, nerdy older sister who was expected to stay out of the way and take care of myself. And take care of myself, I did. I started a digital marketing agency when I was 22. I worked 80-hour weeks, sacrificed my social life, and built a multi-million-dollar company from absolute scratch. My parents, on the other hand, were terrible with money. 6 months ago, they called me in tears. They had secretly remortgaged their house to pay off Chloe's massive credit card debts and to fund her influencer lifestyle. The bank foreclosed on them. They had nowhere to go. Because I have a conscience, and because I foolishly craved my parents' love, I stepped in. I didn't just bail them out. I rented them a stunning, fully furnished, luxury Airbnb mansion in the Hollywood Hills. It cost me $15,000 a month. I told them they could stay there for 6 months, all expenses paid, while they got back on their feet. I put them on my corporate cell phone plan. I even gave my mother a black card with a $10,000 monthly limit for groceries and essentials. Chloe, of course, moved right into the mansion with them. She took the master suite. For months, they acted so grateful to my face. "Oh, Harper, you're our angel," my mother would say. "We are so proud of you," my father would add. I actually believed them. I thought my success had finally earned me a place in their hearts. Back to that Tuesday night. 11:30 p.m. Chloe had meant to add our cousin to the secret chat to coordinate her upcoming lavish destination wedding, a wedding she had begged me to pay for just 2 days prior. But in her haste, her thumb slipped. She added me instead. For about 4 minutes, nobody in the chat realized I was there. My heart hammered against my ribs as I scrolled up through months of chat history. It was a digital graveyard of my self-worth. I saw pictures of myself that they had taken secretly at family dinners, accompanied by cruel jokes about my weight and my clothes. "Look at her shoes," my mother had written. "She has all that money and still dresses like a librarian." So embarrassing. But the insults weren't the worst part. The worst part was the financial plot. I read a message from my father dated 2 weeks prior. "Just keep playing nice with Harper. The lawyer said if we can get her to co-sign the new mortgage application, we can use her income to buy the Beverly Hills house in our name. Once the ink dries, we don't have to talk to her again." Chloe chimed in. "Exactly. We secure the house, she pays for my Cabo wedding in June, and then we just ice her out. She's too desperate for our approval to actually fight back." I felt physically sick. I was shaking. They weren't trying to get back on their feet. They were systematically draining me. I was nothing but an ATM to them, a pathetic workhorse they were planning to slaughter the second they got what they wanted. Suddenly, my phone buzzed again. "Mom," CHLOE. "Look who you just added, Chloe." Oh my God. Oh my God, wait. "You have been removed from the group chat." The chat vanished from my active screen. But they were too late. I already had the screenshots. Seconds later, my phone started ringing. It was my mother. I declined it. Then Chloe called. Declined. Then texts started pouring in. "Harper, honey, it was a joke. A misunderstanding. Please pick up." I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I walked into my bathroom, splashed freezing cold water on my face, and looked at myself in the mirror. The sad, desperate daughter who just wanted her family to love her died in that bathroom. The woman who walked out was the CEO. They thought I was spineless. They thought I would cry myself to sleep and let them manipulate me the next day. They clearly didn't understand how I built a multi-million-dollar business. You don't get to the top by being weak. It was 12:15 a.m. I opened my laptop. Step 1. The money. I logged into my corporate banking portal. I navigated to the black card I had issued to my mother. I didn't just lower the limit. I terminated the card entirely. I moved every single dollar of my personal and business funds into a secure, separate account that they had absolutely no visibility of. Step 2. The phones. I logged into my Verizon corporate dashboard. I located the 3 numbers belonging to my mother, my father, and Chloe. I didn't pause. I clicked, suspend service, device stolen. Instantly, their phones became expensive, glowing bricks. No data, no calls, no texts. Complete communication blackout. Step 3. The cars. I had generously rented them 2 luxury SUVs under my company's name. I called the rental agency's 24-hour emergency line. I reported that the vehicles were no longer authorized for use by the current drivers and requested an immediate tow and repossession from the mansion's driveway at dawn. Step 4. The housing. This was the masterpiece. Because I had rented the Hollywood Hills mansion through a high-end, long-term corporate rental platform, I had a direct line to the property management firm. I sent an urgent email to the property manager, flagging an immediate breach of contract. I stated that the occupants were no longer affiliated with my company, were trespassing as of midnight, and that I was withdrawing my payment method on file. I requested an emergency lockout for 8 a.m. By 2 a.m., my work was done. I closed my laptop, made myself a cup of chamomile tea, and for the first time in my life, I went to sleep without a single ounce of anxiety about my family. I woke up at 7:30 a.m. feeling incredibly refreshed. Because their phones were disconnected, they couldn't call me. Because they lived 40 minutes away, and their cars were currently being loaded onto flatbed tow trucks, they couldn't drive to my secure apartment building. At exactly 8:15 a.m., the property manager of the mansion called my personal cell. "Hi, Harper. It's done." Security arrived at 8 a.m. The occupants were extremely hostile. But when we explained that the lease was voided and the police were en route for trespassing, they packed their bags. They are currently standing on the curb with their luggage. I thanked him and hung up. I can only imagine the absolute panic that set in. Waking up in a multi-million-dollar mansion, completely cut off from the world, walking outside to find the cars gone, trying to use a credit card to call an Uber, only for it to decline, realizing that the idiot they were laughing at had dismantled their entire fake, luxurious existence while they slept. Around 10 a.m., the concierge of my high-rise apartment building called up to my penthouse. "Miss Harper, your parents and your sister are down in the lobby. They took a city bus to get here. They look quite disheveled. They are demanding to see you." I smiled. "Send them up." I stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows of my living room as the elevator doors opened. They spilled out, looking frantic. Chloe was dragging 2 massive designer suitcases, her makeup smudged. My mother looked like she was about to have a heart attack. "Harper!" my mother screamed, rushing toward me. "What is going on? The house locked us out. Our phones are dead. The cars were stolen. Have you lost your mind?" I held up a single finger. The silence that fell over the room was deafening. I picked up a thick manila envelope from my coffee table and tossed it onto the floor at Chloe's feet. "What's this?" Chloe snapped, her voice trembling. "Those are printed copies of the group chat," I said, my voice dangerously quiet. "Every single message. And attached to the back is a formal cease and desist drafted by my legal team at 6 a.m. this morning. My father stepped forward, trying to use his booming, authoritative voice. Harper, you listen to me right now. You are overreacting to a private conversation. You cannot throw your own flesh and blood onto the street. You're right, I replied, looking him dead in the eye. Flesh and blood wouldn't do that, but according to your own messages, I'm not family. I'm just an ATM. And unfortunately for you, this ATM is permanently out of order. I looked at Chloe, who was silently weeping, staring at the screenshots on the floor. Good luck paying for Carbo, Chloe, I whispered. I pressed the intercom button on the wall. Security. My guests are ready to be escorted out of the building. If they ever set foot on the premises again, have them arrested for trespassing. They were escorted out, screaming and crying. I didn't watch them leave. I didn't care where they went. It's been 8 months since that morning. From what I've heard through the grapevine, reality hit them like a freight train. Without my money to prop them up, they had to move into a tiny, cramped 2-bedroom apartment in a terrible neighborhood. My father had to get a job at a hardware store at 60 years old. Chloe's fiancé dumped her when he realized the destination wedding was cancelled, and that the family wealth she bragged about was a total lie. They tried to smear my name to extended family members, but I had already mailed copies of the group chat to every aunt, uncle, and cousin we had. Nobody took their side. Nobody offered them a dime. As for me, my business revenue doubled this year. I travel whenever I want. My skin cleared up, my stress vanished, and my bank accounts are untouchable. Society tells us that family is everything, that you must forgive, you must turn the other cheek, and you must never abandon your blood. But I'm here to tell you that loyalty is a two-way street. Shared DNA does not give anyone the right to use you, disrespect you, and treat you like collateral damage in their own selfish lives. When people show you exactly who they are, believe them. And when they hand you the scissors, do not hesitate to cut the string. Thank you so much for listening to my story today. If this resonated with you, or if you've ever had to cut off toxic family members to protect your own peace, leave a comment down below and let me know how you handled it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more real stories. Stay strong, know your worth, and never let anyone make you feel like you are just a means to an end. See you in the next one.